Warning: this will be a pretty long story, as it describes the two-thirds of my life. I'm a 12th grade student, 18M, from an Asian background, studying in a foreign country. Our family consists of me, my sister, and our parents. We were blessed enough to be able to go to school in different countries, and experience diverse cultures. I think the memories that we gathered through living in many countries will be a one-of-a-kind experience that not many people get to have. However, this did come with many side effects. Because the main reason for this multiple country experience was due to my dad having to travel to such countries for his work, we were only able to stay in one country for only about 4 years. So from grade 1 to 4, I lived in China from grade 6 to 9, changed schools during 8th grade, in India, and Mexico from 10 to 12. From grade 4 to 6 I was in Korea, where my dad had already left to work in India alone, and my mom also working in her dress shop. This left my sister joining a weird friend group that got her into smoking in 8th grade, and me isolating myself from people and spending my time excessively on video games and online communities. Obviously this might come out as a Jaden Smith type of monologue, as I might just be ignorant to how blessed I am to have these opportunities, but I've never really been a fan of it. I've lost friends along the way. I've had to adjust to many places that I really didn't want to be in the first place. And most importantly, it never was my decision. On the last month of 9th grade, my parents told me that I had to leave the dorm that I had gotten used to with many close friends to Mexico. I bitterly accepted this, because I knew that I had no say in this. But interestingly enough, my mom offered a 6-month stay with just me and her in India so that I can say a proper goodbye to my friends for the first semester of 10th grade. However, this offer had been given to me right after I had removed people from my following list that I didn't like but never had the opportunity to confront them. Yes, I'm petty, and most importantly, I had already told my GF that we wouldn't be able to see each other anymore. So as soon as I got to Mexico, I was shocked to realize that the school's curriculum was mainly done in Spanish. I was aware that I had to learn the language, but my parents, at least according to them, thought that most of it was done in English. Well, they were completely wrong, and I had a breakdown on the way back home. I blamed my parents for forcing me out of a comfortable environment and putting me in, once again, a place that I didn't want to be in. My mom, probably to her own defense, told me to suck it up. So 3 years pass by, my habit of gaming and texting to people who I don't even know IRL carries on, or if anything gets worse. My parents, whom had already gotten very aggressive with me for not studying like an average student from our country, South Korea. If you're into politics or have had YouTube videos explaining the country's current position, this shouldn't be a good example. At least that's what I think myself, and that I'm overfortunate to be in this position right now. Ever since I got to Mexico, I had already lost motivation to study for extracurricular stuff, APs and SATs, as the school that I'm currently in don't have such curriculums, and I had grown numb. Then, just about a month ago, my mom realized that I had been stealing her money that I used for my own hobbies. This was the breaking point for my parents and myself, as my mom slapped me till I tasted blood and I defensively hit her as well. This got her mad, obviously, which got her yelling at me words such as, "The knife is in the kitchen. Let's die together. It's my fault that you turned up to be like this." On the same day I apologized to my mother sincerely, but it seemed like she didn't want to talk to me anymore. The next week my dad came back from his business trip, obviously infuriated at what my mom had told him, and called me ungrateful and a hack for it. I obviously knew that at this point, this was what I deserved, and I had no say in it. It was completely my fault for lying to my parents, and I was willing to take the punishment for it. So in order to fix myself, I started taking online tuitions for SAT, so I could get into one of the universities in Mexico for a major in cinematography. My mom didn't seem too accepting, but it seemed like she went through with it. My dad, obviously not happy, but I knew that he would still support me. My mom and I have not been talking for the past week or so, as most of the times it would end up with both of us yelling and swearing at each other. I've just been stuck to my room, taking my class, sleeping, calling with my online friends, and most importantly, taking a shower. Then, yesterday, I woke up around 8, and I heard my mom talking to her ex-coworker. She was talking about how the points I've made about me suffering from changing environments had made me feel useless and not wanting to study was absurd, and that my desire to study cinematography in university was dumb. She also made a comment about praising the Korean curriculum, saying that no one would be like me there. This was the very first time I felt genuine disgust at my mom, and it felt like another punch in the gut when I realized that the door to my room was open. She probably knew that I was listening. So from yesterday, I've decided to stop talking to her, and just limit myself from arguing with my parents. But today, my dad wakes me up at around 8:30. I was planning to wake up at 9, saying that what was I doing, spending time like an idiot during winter break. The very last thing I wanted to see and hear when I woke up had happened. So, in rebuttal, I said that I just wanted to be left alone. My dad then yelled stuff like, "You little piece of shit, retarded fuck," then tried to beat me up with a pillow, which I blocked with clenched fists. He saw this and said, "Go ahead, beat me up like you did with your mom." I obviously got mad that he was bringing this up to guilt trip me, but because I knew that the argument would only result in reflecting my own problem, I didn't reply to it. All I did was fight back defensively from my dad's attempt to choke me and hit me in the face with my pillow. It's around 10:40 a.m., and my class starts in around an hour. And I don't know what to feel anymore. I don't want to blame my parents for treating me like shit, because it's karma, in a sense. I did something that should deservingly be punished, but I've come to realize that this had consisted way before of my wrongdoings. My sister, who I've mentioned, already fixed her life up and is now studying in Singapore, who occasionally I can hear gossiping about me with my parents in a call. If it's my problem, which it probably is, I'll just suck it up like my mom told me to the day we got here. But because I've recently felt and been treated like absolute shit, I just wanted to share my story, so that I could get another person's perspective on it.